Action!
Ha! Hello, everybody.
Hello, Jim.
Hello, Dave.
What are you doing here?
Well, I represent Jim's Kitchen on tour.
Oh, fabulous.
And I'm on tour today in Atherton to see the great Dave Dutton. Now, I know, I first come into contact with Dave because of the songs that the Haunt Weavers used to do, that Dave's written. And
still do?
Well, of course they do. I've
Yeah.
heard of them. And you actually toured with the Weavers quite a lot. With Bernard Wrigley, didn't you? They do the Christmas tour.
We did, brilliant.
I remember that show. Very funny. Very funny.
With the Nativity, when I played Joseph and Bernard played Mary. Can you imagine that?
What are you drinking?
Eh?
What was he drinking? Ale Mary, was it?
Ale Mary.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. What I want to do is actually go back for a bit before then, because like I said, I only come in contact with Weavers, but according to Wikipedia, I looked you up on Wikipedia, and according to Wikipedia, it says you were born.
That's a good start, that, Jim. Oh, where I? Born 1947 in Atherton, in this very house.
Wow.
My mum was a single parent. She can't go into all the circumstances, but I never met my dad, so went off the rails a bit in the early days. Then when I found out that it wasn't cool to be illegitimate, found out in the school playground, and then it sent me off the rails a bit. So I turned a bit septic. Ended up not going to school, not wanting to go to school, wagging it all the time. Anyway, my mum thought she'd put a stop to it, took me to the local police station, which was a very imposing old Victorian building in Water Street, like something out of Charles Dickens. Yeah. And she said to the policeman, have a word with him. He's going wrong, he needs a word with him. So he didn't have a word, he just opened the cell door and shoved me in it, slammed the door shut. Wow. And it was an old thing with like a stone bench for sleeping on and a nasty old bog in the corner. You could hear it dripping, So he said, if you don't change your ways, this is where you're going to end up, he says, where the old tramp Joe Knowles sleeps. So...
did it scare you?
It did. It was a short, sharp shock that worked, and I like to think I'm a completely different person these days.
So you've not actually been in prison then?
No, not. Oh, I visited. And that's where I met you, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
No, that was the last and only time. I think it's a good thing. The short, sharp shock. It worked in my case. Yeah, that's what it's in here. It's 30 Bob Kid.
It's a great read. When obviously you're a literate person, you're a writer. Yeah. When did all that begin? I mean, when did you start with your writing, or even thinking about writing?
Well, you have to have some sort of aptitude, and I think English was mine. I couldn't do maths, or I was never interested in calculus or algebra or logarithms, all that. But I was pretty good at English because I read a lot. Yes. From being a kid, I just read comic after comic, and they had proper stories in there. Hotspur, Wizard, Adventure, Rover, just book after book, and all the old classics. Yeah. David Copperfield. This is from being really small. The Black Arrow and Treasure Island. I just absolutely loved all that. So I had some facility with English, and that's where it started. And my first job from school was as a reporter on a local newspaper, Lee Chronicle.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Lee Chronicle it was then. Became the Lee reporter. Then I went on to the Blackpool Gazette and ended up on the Manchester Evening News for a couple of years. And then I seem to change my job every few years. I get fed up doing things, so I go on to other things then. Right.
But it's... I've often thought about that, write a newspaper. Can you just tell me very briefly about that? What sort of things would you write for Lee Reporter, Blackpool Gazette?
Well, there were everything. Yeah. When I started on the Lee Chronicle, there were only 3 of us. Yes. And you had to cover everything: courts, councils, inquests. You had to go on a walk all around Lee, Atherton, Tilsley, calling in at police stations, fire stations, pubs, that were all right. The first week, I covered the death of a teacher at my old school.
Ah.
He dropped dead suddenly, so, and then, like you go around to the pubs and say, any news locally. We went in a pub in Tilsley and he said, yeah, old Albert's dead across, I can't remember his name, dead across road. He were like a stalwart of the community. Go and have a word with his daughter. So I mean, this is the first week I'm working there. We went through the door. She said, oh, come in, yeah, well, I'm happy to chat about my dad. Opened the door. We went through. The other reporter went through first. I turned around to shut the door, and he's there in bed.
Dead man.
Dad.
Oh, no.
Oh, bloody hell. So we went in the kitchen, and I'm like, I'm only like just turned 16.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the reporter, I'm going, he's what? Is he there? So well, that cracked me up. So I'm starting going, and his daughter came out and said, oh, is he upset? I was just laughing, I couldn't stop. I had to go outside. So there were fun days actually. Yeah. It was good. Yeah. So we wrote about anything.
But how did you? But that's fascinating. How did you go from that to sort of? I mean, you've written for some big stars, haven't you? You've written for some big names in comedy.
Well, I packed in being a reporter.
Yeah.
I think it was about 1970, and then I went on the dole for a spell while I completed my education, basically, because I used to go to the Allerton Library every day and study everything. A lot of plays, actually. I used to read a lot of playwrights like George Bernard Shaw and Arnold Wesker and Harold Pinter and stuff like that. So I suppose that was the acting bit for me, because I did a bit of acting at school. That's completed the education. Then one day, I thought I better get earning some brass. And laughably, I sent some jokes to Ken Dodd. I sent 12 pages of jokes that I'd written. I found his address in a book that I bought up Atherton. 76 Thomas Lane, Notty Ash. Wow. I still remember it. Yeah. So I sent him 12 pages of gags, and he got back, sent me a letter saying, give us a ring.
Did he really?
Yeah, straight away. Yeah. So I gave him a ring. He said, come up and see me. I said, well, why do I need to do that? I said, I've not got two heads. He said, oh, that would be an advantage, he said. So I went seeing him at his house in Notty Ash, and within that week I was writing for his radio show and getting credits on the BBC, and then I went on to write for his stage act and television, and I was with him for about 7 years.
That's a big deal, because Ken Dodd was a massive entertainer in this country, very highly regarded. I had no idea you'd done all that.
Well, he sold more than the Beatles with his records.
He's a great singer as well, wasn't he?
He held the record at the Palladium for all the,
and his shows used to just go on for hours as well.
Oh, he did. I used to put the milk out on the stage. But he came here, Doddy. He used to come here regularly, picking the scripts up, and my mum would make him and his girlfriend a cup of tea and that. And one day my Uncle Ned was here, and he'd had a drink, and he poked Doddy in the teeth. He said, "Are them your real teeth, Mr. Dodd, or the ones you have on telly?" I went, "Oh, bloody hell." So I said, when he got me, I said, "I'm sorry about my Uncle Ned." He said, "Don't worry." He says, "We all have an Uncle Ned."
We all have an Uncle Ned,
yeah. So wrote for him quite a lot, and then we fell out over money, surprisingly. So I went on to write for other people like Two Ronnies and Dick Emery and Little and Large and various others.
Bloody hell. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, the Two Ronnies in particular, I mean, all those people you said are very famous and very successful.
Yeah.
Two Ronnies, I mean, I had no idea about this. That's fantastic.
It was great. I mean, Ronnie Barker wrote most of the stuff under an assumed name, but nobody knew it was him, apparently. No. But I did the news items and stuff like that, along with lots of other people. Yeah. And I remember being invited down to the Mayfair Hotel in London, and there were people there like Barry Cryer and Spike Mullins, who top writers, David Renwick, who wrote One Foot in the Grave. Right, yeah. We were all there. And the Two Ronnies were serving us drinks, and and food. Would you like another drink? Can I top you up? And it was great. It was like being in a Two Ronnies sketch.
Oh yeah.
So
Amazing.
yeah, it's
what fantastic memories.
yeah.
I mean, we could talk about. We've got to talk about your acting as well, but also about the books that you've written. I mean, you mentioned this book. What's this? Is this like a?
Well, it took me 10 years to write it, and it's 30 Bob Kid. We mentioned it last time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's me on the phone in the office. There's my dad I never met, Stanley Alfred Grant, who was a bomb expert at Risley, munitions expert from London. So, you know, it's my life story from being born, you know, to, as you pointed out, I was born.
Oh, you was born, yeah.
To right the way through to all my television stuff, me acting, me things we got up to at school, which is unbelievable. My mum's struggles, nurseries, you know.
Got some fantastic photographs in as well. Some
Yeah, this is like watching. I did
watching, yeah.
yeah. There's a chapter on watching, which was one of the best things I did. It was a sitcom, an award-winning sitcom that Granada did in the 80s, and it was based in Liverpool, and there were quite a few series, and I played the cafe owner, Oswald, and my nasty Pinny. The main character came working for me and all that, but it's still remembered. They have a fantastic Facebook group called the Mel's Mackerels, and there's about 1,600 people who still love the show.
The watching show, yeah.
And they send me presents for my birthday and Christmas, and they get dressed up as Oswald and things like that. It's really lovely. So yeah, it's all about the Coronation Street years, and there's Vera Duckworth. She was lovely.
Yeah.
All through family stuff and down to when my stage stuff. That's me dressed as an alien. I don't know if they can see that. That was
Looks like a flower pot, man.
yeah. And we did a Corrie thing at the Lancashire, and Maureen Littman turned up because her husband had written it, and she was really complimentary about us all. You know, it was lovely. I'd love to work with her again. She was really nice.
Was great. One of your most talked about books, I think, is Lancashire Spoken Here. I mean, that is a famous book, and I hadn't realised. I'd forgotten actually.
Yeah.
Bill Tidy did all the stuff in it as well, the illustrations.
Yeah, Bill was brilliant. We met him a few times. We did the Cloggies Cookbook as well, because Bill's characters were called the Cloggies. So me and my mate Al Dixon, we did the Cloggies Cookbook, and Bill did the illustrations, obviously. But yeah, he did it. This is an original copy of Lancashire Spoken Here, which I picked up today, and it's brought back memories because it says, "To Mam, thanks for all you've ever done for me. May the good Lord never drop a clog on your head. David," and she's put August 1978. Well, he did drop a clog on her head because she ended up with bloody dementia. So, yeah.
That's a
not seen that since then.
Beautiful memory. So, I'm just going to read a sentence out to you, because I come from a different area than David.
Yeah, all of about a mile away. West Elm.
I could do with some put a road through me. That is, please prescribe me a laxative.
Oh dear.
I'm stuffed up buggery with a cowd. I'm full of a cold.
Oh dear.
Yes, there's some good material in it. I'll have to get me and David onto that.
And it's still available on Amazon, but not this original.
The River. On the River.
Get off. Bloody hell. Yeah, it's still available on Amazon along with all my other books. This is a book that I'm really proud of. I've written quite a bit, but this is called Who Ate the Zookeeper? And it's a children's picture book. Thing is, you can't get a children's book published unless you're a famous comedian.
Yeah.
There's thousands of them, isn't there? But I couldn't get it published, so I had to publish it myself. Well, Amazon. Brilliant illustrations by a lady from Bolton called Jo Blakely. and it's about a zookeeper who gets eaten, and the Sherlock Max Sporran, who's the doggy detective, he goes around asking, you know, did you eat him? And all the animals are disclaiming that they didn't eat him and all that. So, and it's gone down really well. It's got 5 stars on Amazon, and the parents who read it to the kids do all the voices.
I've got to get that for my grandson. He'd absolutely love that.
Oh yeah. How old is he?
5.
Oh yeah. They love the voices, you know.
I was at 27 then. Just
it goes down well with 27-year-old. Yeah, and Sherlock Max Sporran have solved many crimes and so many cases lost count of the times. Tickety Zoo is in trouble and mystery calls. They sent for Max Sporran, best detective of all. The zookeeper's vanished. He must have been eaten. I'll find out who did it. He will not.
I will not be eaten.
So he interrogates all the animals, and there's a twist at the end. But I'm really chuffed.
Yeah,
proud of that.
So we've got the autobiography. We've got Lancashire Sport here, and I know there's and the children's book. But you've written a lot more than that. You've written about 14, 15 books, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, all sorts of joke books.
Yeah.
Wrote insult books, one called Ouch.
Oh, I'll need buy that.
And a follow-up called Ouch Ouch. And books about eccentrics, oddballs, that was called. One about gruesome facts, that was called Horrors. And there's others as well, I've forgotten.
Because we've just been talking about a gruesome fact. Where we are now, we're near North Road, Platt Lane. North Road, Platt Lane. And my wife Melanie lived on Platt Lane when I met her when we were coaching with her.
Right.
And it goes from Platt Lane it goes from there to West Horn to here. And it's one, if not the most haunted road in England. So look that up.
I never knew that.
But Dave, we've not talked about your acting.
Yeah.
I mean, we touched on it briefly when we had a chat before, but you've done quite a lot of acting, haven't you?
Yeah, I started at school. There's a play called Emil and the Detectives, and I found out while listening to Desert Island Disc that was the play that Ray Winston started in school.
Wow.
Yeah, he mentioned it. I was amazed. So that set him on the road, and that must have planted something in my mind. And
you didn't play the same part that he played.
I don't think so. No, he never mentioned what he played. I played a part called Bo. So I never took it up afterwards because it never came to mind. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have known how to get into it.
Well, no,
like most people.
It's not an easy thing to get into, is it?
Well, no, not really. No, and I was never going to go to drama school because I never went to university or left school when I was 15. So, when the opportunity came, I took it and started doing extra work, and then it built up and built up.
Yeah.
I think we discussed it last time. Ended up getting more and more lines, thankfully, and like first lines I ever did in Coronation Street were "Mind your backs, girls." It was delivering something to Mike Baldwin's Knicker Factory. So that was the first one. But then I got part as superstore owner, selling stuff to Ken Barlow to replace his Uncle Albert's old sideboard and stuff. And gradually, like it seemed to be like every couple of years I get another part, and really. You
ended up doing 11 different parts, I think.
I did, yeah. Last one was a couple of years ago when I got Peter Barlow drunk.
Oh, nice.
He was...
because he was a recovering alcoholic.
He was a recovering alcoholic. And I accidentally got him back on the booze.
Right. So that's your fault.
That's my fault, yeah. He's left now, hasn't he?
No, that's your fault as well. Now, we could talk all day, and we're going to do more. We're going to do a series of these within the thing.
Right.
But I just want to say, what a pleasure it's been here today. And that song we sung, I hope you'll have a listen to that afterwards. But it's been great talking to you,
too,
Dave,
Jim. Yeah.
And we'll do it again sometime.
I hope so, yeah. Lovely.
See you,
pal.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's it.